Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your July 2018 personal reading. Thank you so much for joining us here today and welcome to any newcomers. Thank you for all your support, feedback, and comments, and your subscribes and likes and shares. And a big thank you to all of my clients out there as well, regular and new, for the busyness with the personal one-on-one readings. If any of you are interested in a one-on-one personal reading with me, you can get the information and my contact details by going to my YouTube channel's homepage and clicking on the little About button. You can also click on the description bar of all the videos I post to see that information. Email me directly at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. Turnaround time is pretty quick as well. I can usually get back to you within the same day or the first 24 hours of your initial contact. And I do readings full-time 5 to 6 days a week, so scheduling can be anywhere from a few days upwards of 2 weeks. But because this is solely what I do, I can almost always schedule a reading with you within a 2-week period of time, live or recorded. So if you're interested, send me an email. We'll go from there. You can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy. That detail is also included for those of you who like to utilize that for the quick, easy questions. It's a good way to get a hold of me as well. So moving right into this is for the water sign of Scorpio for July 2018, our Scorpions for the month of July 2018. These are general readings, so they're going to resonate a little differently for everybody watching because of the details and specifics of what's going on in your life. The energy and advice remains the same, but for additional clarification, if you know your rising and your moon sign, watch those videos as well because they can help add to the picture. Okay, Scorpio, let's see what's in store for you for July. We begin with the Nine of Swords, followed by the Ace of Wands. We have the Nine of Cups, followed by Death or Transformation. We have the Page of Cups, followed by the Nine of Pentacles, and the Ten of Wands, followed by the Five of Wands. From the bottom of the deck, your overall energy, focus, and guidance for the month is the Star. What a beautiful, lovely reading, Scorpio. I feel like you're so stressed out at the beginning of the month of July, end of June, beginning of July. Of course, the timing is going to vary in general readings with that Nine of Swords, but I almost want to tell you just to breathe. It's going to be fine. You're going to do beautifully. So we begin July 2018, or towards the end of June, with the Nine of Swords and the Ace of Wands. So the Nine of Swords is mental energy. It's air energy. That's the element which governs this suit in the tarot. And air energy for the suit of swords is all about our words and our ideas and what we think about things, our outlooks and belief systems and perspectives, because how we think about things and the belief systems we operate under affects the way that we relate and see and communicate with the world and with other people. So it's the energy of swords is mental, cerebral, intellectual energy, truth, enlightenment, higher education, brain stuff. The Nine of Swords is a card of a lot of stress, anxiety, and worry, way too much. This is a card of like being stressed out about a future which hasn't even unfolded yet. It's usually a card that comes up when you're up late at night, as this woman is. You can't stop thinking about something. The thoughts going around and around and around, making something up in your head to be much bigger and worse than is actually reflected in the reality of the situation. Too much stress. As my grown daughter says, this is about future tripping. It usually comes up when someone's, afraid of what might happen in the future, what might not happen in the future with a particular situation. It's somewhat illusionary, which means that the source of your fears or concerns might be valid, but this is building it up way too much in your head when an answer or solution in the reality is actually right there in your external environment, but you can't see the reality of it because you're only focused on this internal stuff. So be careful about that. There's absolutely no reason, Scorpio, for you to be manifesting this much worry and anxiety and stress and overthinking this. And it's about some new beginning that you're having, because the Nine of Swords is clarified by the Ace of Wands. So Wands in the tarot is fire energy. That's the element which governs this soup. And it's very action-oriented, dynamic energy. It's fire. It's artistic energy, creative energy. It's the energy of creation. It's about building and moving. It's very action-oriented and dynamic. Aces represent the number one, so they always represent the beginning of something, the start of something new, a new path, or the opportunity. seeds. I like to look at aces as seeds. They contain a whole lot of potential in seeds, but you have to, plant them in the ground at the right time and nurture and take care of them so that they can manifest their full potentials. There's an exciting new beginning, an exciting new path in front of you. I just got moving for some of you too, moving geographical location. Some of you may be moving in with a partner. Like a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, some kind of partnership there. There's a lot of stress and anxiety about this. Maybe if it's going to work out, you're not sure if it's going to work out. You're worried about what might happen if this happens, or what might happen if this doesn't happen, or, there's all kinds of thoughts about it. Or if you're up to the task, because the Ace of Wands represents a new beginning, but it requires action. It's wands, it's fire energy, and fire requires manipulation. It requires action to build and grow something. So it's an action-oriented new beginning, and it requires action to manifest. And there's a lot of fears and doubts and concerns with you, Scorpio, in this new beginning, this tangible new beginning. And what it is, again, general reading, could be a lot of different things. A new relationship, taking a relationship to another level, because I am getting, for some of you, you're moving in with somebody. Some of you are just moving. Some of you, it might be a new job, a new career. You might be taking a new course of study. You might be relocating. You might be starting a new project, or maybe you've been put in charge of a new project, and you're just worried about whether you're up to the task or not, and you're thinking about all the things that could go wrong. Too much. You're overthinking it, Scorpio. You lovely, deep, intense Scorpios. Often when I think of Scorpios, and my moon is in Scorpio, which is kind of a challenging energy, but often when I think of Scorpios, I think still waters run deep. That's always the phrase that sticks in my head with Scorpios. You lovely, deep, intense individuals. So you're overthinking something, Scorpio. Something just popped up on my screen here. So it's always right when you're in the middle of something that, the phone rings or something like that happens. So, okay. So you're overthinking this new beginning, and you have a lot of fears and worries and concerns and anxieties about it. But it's all going to be okay, Scorpio, because the rest of this month, it's like, and it's not even the first part of this month where there's all this energy going around in your head. When you feel yourself doing that, Scorpio, because you're a very deep, kind of intense individual, particularly on an internal level, and you can really kind of get caught up in that. So when you find yourself doing that, particularly at the end of July, end of June, beginning of July, stop. Tell yourself, okay, let me step out. Let me take a practical look at these fears and concerns. What are they? Does this really fit the reality of the situation? No? Well, then you can throw a lot of that overthinking negativity out. If you're worried about what might happen if this happens in the future, if it hasn't happened yet, and you've done everything that you can do to reasonably plan for things, let the rest of it go, okay? Logic actually is a great weapon against fears about the unknown. Kind of that logical self-talk. And action also. Action is a great way to banish this fear and doubt and insecurity and overthinking things, because it kind of immobilizes us. Action and logic are the best tools and weapons against that kind of negative internal energy. So next we have the Nine of Cups and Death. Wonderful, extremely powerful energy. Nine of Cups. Cups is water energy. In the tarot, this is the energy of emotion. The Suit of Cups is usually manifested in our emotional life, our feeling life, and our relationship life. The Nine of Cups is often referred to as the wish fulfillment card. It's a card that speaks of abundance, overflowing abundance, having so much that you have enough to share with friends and family, as this man does, having more than enough to eat, to drink, physical surroundings. It's a card of abundance, and it can represent abundance in like your physical surroundings, winning the lottery, winning something, getting that great job, your relationship has just kind of gone to a new level, or you have a new relationship. It's a sense of abundance in a lot of different ways. It can mean abundance in every area of your life, or just specific areas of your life, because there has been this complete and total transformation. There's been a death of something in your life that has been old and maybe been there for a while, and there's a transformation happening, a rebirth happening, and this is supporting and fostering this sense of abundance, because what clarifies the Nine of Cups is death, which I like to call transformation. I prefer to call transformation because the word death makes some people go, eek. Death represents the ending of something, and it's a major arcana card, so it's a pretty big ending. It represents the ground being cleared out. Unlike the Tower card can represent a life-shaking event that often shakes up us internally, like a belief system. Death can often represent, although it can represent, the transformations that we go through when we go through death or somebody, passing on. But death represents, it represents more in the tarot, I feel, about the ending of a certain part of our life that manifests a lot in an external way or in our external environment somehow, which always does affect us internally as well. But I've found that between death and the Tower card, which are two major arcana cards, which usually represent big shakeups in life that remove something or end something or really cause us to question something, the Tower is more on an internal level, and death is more of an external shakeup. And it's actually right next to the Ace of Wands, which is that action-oriented new beginning. So I feel like whatever this change is, I feel like for a lot of you, it is in external environment or external circumstances as well, which always affect us internally. But death represents, usually when the death card shows up, it represents the end of something that's been with us for quite a long time. It could be maybe a home we've lived in. It could be a belief system as well, but a home we've lived in, a job we've had for a long time, a relationship we've had for a long time. Something is going through a transformation, but because it's clarifying the abundance card, whatever this new beginning is for you, this opportunity for a new beginning that has you in such chaos in your head, Scorpio, is a beautiful one. It is leading, cradling, and fostering and supporting your having a sense of abundance in your life, whether that's in money or relationships, home, family. I feel like for a lot of you, this change is external, but the benefits are internal as well. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Now next we have the Page of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. Cups, more water energy here. Pages usually represent messages, messengers, young people. They're just starting off. This is a beautiful, positive, some of you may be receiving positive messages of love, messages of support, messages which come in which make you feel very beautiful, hopeful, and positive. I mean, your overall energy is the star, which is renewed hope, faith, and optimism. I mean, your reading is gorgeous, Scorpio. So some beautiful, loving messages, positive, hopeful messages coming in around the middle or third week of the month or so. Those might be coming into you. You might be extending those outwards as well. It's clarified by the Knight of Pentacles, which is a card of independence, self-sufficiency, self-empowerment. Pentacles is earth energy, and in the tarot, this is the energy of things that we can see, touch, and feel, tangible energy. Often money, finances, property, resources, job, tangible results from the efforts we put into things, security, stability, success, those sorts of things. This woman is in a really good place. She obviously has enough resources to feel like she has a really good life. She's worked very hard to get to where she's at too. Nobody's handed anything to her on a silver platter, which is where the energy for this card is independence, self-sufficiency, self-reliance. She might be single, she might not be. If she's either way, it doesn't matter. She loves herself, who she is, what her life's about, and where she's gotten to. She's enjoying the fruits of her own labors, independent of anybody else. If she wants to be with somebody, she will, but she'll take her time because she's not driven to it out of a compulsive need. She can take care of herself just fine, and she's in a really good place. And so you have that, and you have the Nine of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. Nines represent being very close to something, too close to achieving something, a sense of achievement or fulfillment, because tens represent completion. You do have something that's coming to an end. I feel like a lot of you in your external life, as you're making this big move, this big change, this new direction you're going into, I feel like you have some very positive, loving messages around you and people leading you to a sense or telling you, you can do it, you've got this one, you can do it as well. Some of you may be actually getting some financial abundance this month as well, too, which may completely change the picture for you in a very positive way. However the details and specifics play out, because this is a general reading, Scorpio, the energy is absolutely wonderful. Now, at or towards the end of the month, we have the Ten of Wands and the Five of Wands. I like this combination too. The Ten of Wands, here we have another completion card here, 10. We have that death, transformation one, major endings, major shifts and changes. Tens represent cycles ending, culmination. What is this the end of? It's the end of a long burden, a burden that you've been carrying maybe for quite some time. Carrying it successfully, but it's very heavy and the time has come to lay it down. The time has come for it to be finished. Whatever that burden might be. So something is definitely coming to an end, which has been very, it could be an actual cross you've had to bear, an actual problem. It could be something that you've just been working on for a long time and putting yourself into. But the clarifying card for the Ten of Wands, whatever this burden is coming to an end, is the Five of Wands, which represents conflict. It can represent internal conflict, things kind of going around and around and around in your head and in your heart, internal conflict, which you definitely opened the month with. Scorpio, and it can represent external conflict with another person or with other people. It can represent competition. It's not huge conflict, it's petty, circular conflict, maybe arguing over the same thing over and over again. And I have felt like for a lot of the signs over the last couple of months, particularly for some specific signs, there has been this ongoing conflict or situation with another person or with a few people involved in it. A lot of conflict. It's caused a lot of discord and chaos because the root of it maybe wasn't that big of a deal, but the chaos around it became a big deal. But through that, a lot people kind of learned and grew a lot from that and have learned to kind of work through things, balance things out with themselves and other people and how we view things. And this conflict is coming to an end. And I have seen this message for a lot of the other signs during the same time period as well. And Scorpio, you have as well. So what's coming to an end, this burden that you're going to be able to lay down or that you're laying down or that needs to be laid down, it's this conflict going on. And I really love seeing that too because it feels like the successful resolution of something. Or you're letting go of whatever it was that this conflict was about, because in a general reading it can really vary. Your overall message from the bottom of the deck is one of my favorite cards in the tarot, the Star. This is your overall energy for the month of July, Scorpio. Your overall guidance and advice as well. The Star is renewed hope, faith, and optimism, and it usually shows up after a period of darkness or challenge or pain, kind of darkness into light, winter into spring, sickness into health. The Star is kind of that star, that light shining in the darkness that we follow to that leads us out of darkness. It's a card that represents something is occurring to give us a sense of renewed hope, faith, and optimism. It's walking in faith. It's trusting in Source, God, Spirit, or angels and guides, which this woman is doing. That's why she's emptying her reservoirs of water completely out into the water she's kneeling in, because she walks in faith, in perfect faith and confidence, and when she needs her her pitchers replenished, when she needs water, it'll be provided to her because the Source is limitless. She has that kind of hope and faith in the divine, in Source, whatever you choose to call that. It's renewed hope, faith, and optimism, usually after a period of darkness or challenge or pain or sickness. Beautiful energy, and that's the energy. This star is shining above you over the month of July 2018, Scorpio. Absolutely wonderful. Don't get stuck in the conflict. Do not feed this energy. Throw it right out the window, okay? You don't need it, Scorpio. You can put that lovely, deep, intense energy to moving right into this new beginning very courageously. To have courage means that you're afraid, but you choose to walk ahead anyway. That's what being courageous actually means. Can't have courage without fear. Okay, so Scorpio, that pretty much wraps up your July 2018 general reading. I hope that you found it helpful. It is truly a beautiful reading, Scorpio. I'm happy to bring it to you. Again, if any of you would like a more personal one-on-one reading with me, all the information and details, you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage, click on that little About button, or click on the description bar of the videos I post. Please feel free to email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be very happy to work with you and set up a reading as quickly as we can. You can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy. That link is also provided. And there's some new channel package promotions on Instantgo for me this month as well. So check that out if you're interested. Scorpio, I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the July 2018 mid-month readings. And until then, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.